headache, bleed it, fever, cough that sounds like a haunted accordion. You guessed it. Bleed it. Welcome to Dirt on History, the show that peels off the bandage and checks what people really did to feel better. Today we dive into bloodletting, the one-stop cure that tried to fix everything by opening a vein. Grab a tourniquet and a sense of humor. This is going to get clinical and a little sticky. 10 stops on the wild ride from humors to hospital wards to the few places where bloodletting still earns its keep. 1. The science that was not. 4 humors and a hot blood problem. Ancient doctors believed health was a balance of 4 humors: blood, phlegm, yellow bile, black bile. If you were hot and full of blood, you were called sanguine. If you were sick, the treatment aimed to rebalance the mix. Open a vein, remove the excess, reset the body. If the theory is a vibe check, the practice is a toolbox. Bring out the blades. 2. Blades, cups, and little spring-loaded nightmares. Doctors opened veins with lancets or fleams. They used vacuum cups for cupping. They scratched many shallow cuts at once with a device called a scarificator. It looked like a brass box with blades that snapped out when you pressed a lever. Efficient. Terrifying. Effective at making a mess. Now, meet the original walk-in clinic. Haircut, tooth pull, vein open. Same storefront. 3. Barber surgeons and the spinning sign out front. In medieval Europe, the clergy drifted away from surgery, and barbers stepped in. You got your beard trimmed and your bloodlet under the same roof. The barber pole became the brand. Red for blood, white for bandages. 4. The French leech craze and the doctor who loved to drain. In the early 1800s, François Broussais championed bleeding for inflammation. Hospitals ordered leeches by the million. Paris ran short and imported more. Physicians lined the jaws of patients like a necklace of tiny pumps. It was a trend with a soundtrack of slurping. So when did the spell break? When somebody brought math to a knife fight. 5. The numbers say no. Pierre Louis tests the dogma. In the 1820s and 1830s, Pierre Charles Alexandre Louis compared pneumonia patients who were bled early versus late. His numerical method showed no benefit and hinted at harm. It was one of the first times clinical data punched a hole in a grand medical theory. The data was ugly for the old cure. Yet the brand survived in shop windows and in jokes. That pole kept spinning. 6. Why the barber pole stuck around. Even after surgeons split from barbers, the striped pole remained a catchy logo. In Europe, it stayed red and white. In America, shops often added blue. Explanations range from patriotic flair to simple design choice. Either way, the symbol survives even if the bleeding mostly stopped. 7. The part that still works: therapeutic phlebotomy. Today, doctors remove blood on purpose for real conditions. Hereditary hemochromatosis, where iron overload can damage organs. Polycythemia vera, where red cells run too high. Porphyria cutanea tarda, and a few others. Modern phlebotomy is measured, monitored, and backed by lab results. Before we wrap, 2 quick clarifications and 1 spicy myth check. 8. Bleeding was not always evil. It was often everything they had. Most doctors worked with the tools of their time. No antibiotics, no intravenous fluids, no imaging. Bleeding fit the theory and sometimes seemed to calm a crisis in the short term. The harm was real. The intent was care. 9. The reckoning. From reset button to red flag. Bloodletting ruled for 2,000 years because a simple story felt true. Bad stuff out, balance returns. Then evidence arrived and the story collapsed. Now the only time a doctor reaches for the tourniquet on purpose is when science says it helps. Everything else goes in the museum case with the spring-loaded box of blades. From humors to hospital ledgers, Bloodletting tried to fix everything, and often broke what was left. If this tour scratched your curiosity, hit like, punch subscribe, and tell us the wildest old remedy you have heard. Bonus points if it involves a box of blades and a very confident barber.